added awareness so that people would know where and who the Israelites are. I believe that has been accomplished today. So, seeing that that has been accomplished today, we got to teach the truth as the truth. And whoever get hit by the truth, so be it. According to one classic One West oral teachings, the tribes are mapped as follows. Judah is the so-called African American. You know what I always found interesting? How the chart was created by African Americans, and somehow they just understood that they are Judah. You know, to people that have a little bit common sense, you just got to ask some simple questions. Where's the motive and agenda in the person that created the chart and made themselves the prime royal tribe? I mean, you really just got to ask yourself some common sense questions. The people, persons, and individual responsible for the 12 tribes chart just happened to make sure that the Black American, who they are, is Judah. Now, let me make something clear. I don't doubt for a single second that Judah is among African Americans. But let me tell you something. Judah is among Afro-Caribbeans. Judah is among African Israelites on the continent right now. To act as if Judah is just the Negro, the American Negro, is silly. And I'm going to slap you in the face. I might even chin check you with so much information that you'll be embarrassed to ever say that publicly again. Judah, they say, is the so-called African American. Benjamin is the West Indians. And then they say that's Jamaicans primarily. Let me just tell you what I automatically know as a child of West Indian parents. This person is silly that made up this chart. The Caribbean is so much bigger than the island of Jamaica. The island of Jamaica has great contributions for the Caribbean, I want to say even the world over, but the Caribbean is much more bigger than Jamaica. So when you hear people speaking like that, when they hear a Caribbean accent and they assume everything is Jamaican, you already know that they're out of touch with Caribbean culture. As I continue, they say the tribe of Levi is the Haitians. They say Ephraim is the Puerto Ricans. They say Manasseh is the Cubans. They say Simeon is the Dominicans. But hold on, before I go any further, does anybody know what islands are part of the Caribbean? Because the last time I checked, the West Indies consists of Haiti, Puerto Rico, Cuba, and the Dominican Republic. So how in the hell did this genius, and I mean that in the most disrespectful way, that created the 12 tribes chart, how did this genius figure out to divide Haitians, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, and Dominicans from the West Indies when they are clearly part of the West Indies? I mean, more on that in the next slide. Then they say Zebulon is from Guatemala to Panama. So you know what that is already. They ran out of isolated places. So now it's from Guatemala all the way to Panama. Go speak to a Panamanian, of which I have in my family. Go speak to Panamanians, of which I know several. And please tell them that they're not Caribbean. Please tell them that they're not West Indian. The person that made the 12 tribes chart, the only part of West Indies they're familiar with is Brooklyn, Bronx, and maybe Queens. Where's my fire emojis in the chat? Because clearly this person is out of touch with Caribbean culture. Let me keep going. They say Isaskar is the Mexicans. And wait on that. Wait till you hear why they say that is. They say Asher is the Colombians. Naphtali is the Argentinians. Reuben, oh, when we get there, I almost want to fast forward the slides because I'm going to have y'all rolling. They say Reuben is the Seminole Indian and the Native American, as well as Gad being indigenous North Americans. And let me say something to you guys that are against that. I don't necessarily have a qualm with the notion and idea that the indigenous peoples of America, in part, listen carefully, in part, are connected with the biblical Israelites. I don't have a problem with that. Again, my problem is the logic and the basis for them saying that this one is Reuben, this one is Gad. Where'd you get that from? Right? Where'd you get that from? Right? I'm going to do a separate presentation after today showing you guys why it is in history that indigenous Native Americans are in fact connected to bloodline Israelites. Some, I'm not going to say all, some. But to say Reuben is the Seminole Native Americans and then Gad is, indigenous North Americans, I mean, the creator of the 12 tribes chart never left the 5th grade. The theological assumption that tribal identity remained collectively intact, even in exile,